I want your guys' pecking order of the top 3 moves Mr. Rosas has to do as the new Wolves president of basketball operations.
I'll lead this one off. One, I need to go and hire my general manager and my coach and tell Glenn Taylor to stay the hell out of that process. I'll hire who I want to hire. That's step 1. Step 2, I call 29 teams around the NBA and see what you're willing to give me and what I have to package up to get rid of Andrew Wiggins. And then 3, I start researching for the draft because I got to find my diamond in the rough, maybe from Europe, with what will probably be the 10th pick in the NBA draft. Those are the 3 moves in that order that I have to make if I'm Gersson Rosas.
Okay. I would say move number 1 is trade Andrew Wiggins for someone else's bad contract. So I think there's a path to trade him. One of those paths involves attach assets like a first round pick or multiple picks just to get rid of him to a team with cap space and a team that's maybe, pick a team that's at the bottom of the barrel, still interested in tanking, but has room to absorb the contract and would maybe be willing to take a flyer on him for a couple of years and then maybe they try to trade him. But I also think you could just take on another bad contract. Like, I'd rather have somebody less ball hoggy. There's been a lot of people talking about the Kelly Olynyk contract and Dion Waiters in Miami. Like, I'd honestly rather have those 2 guys than Andrew Wiggins. I mean, Kelly Olynyk is at least decent for 12 or 15 minutes. Wiggins is out there for 30 minutes and hogs all the shots and just like doesn't understand where to shoot from. So number 1, fix the Andrew Wiggins thing, not by fixing him, but by shipping him away. Number 2, bring in at least 5 guys who can shoot 3-pointers, be it the draft or free agency or trades. And number 3, get Kevin Garnett back to the franchise in some capacity. Just bring him back, work with Karl-Anthony Towns. Kevin Garnett needs to be at games, be a marketing presence. So trade Andrew Wiggins, bring in a bunch of 3-point shooters, and get KG back in the good graces. Those are the 3 moves.
The KG idea I love, but that's not in my top 3. A year ago, when the Wild was trying to find a GM, Louis came on the old show and said, you tell the owner what he wants to hear until you get the job, and then you do what you want. To Ramie's point, number 1, I tell Glenn, I say, here's the deal. I'll sit down with Ryan. I'll give him consideration, but it's going to be my coach. It's not your coach. It's my coach. And I don't care how attached you are to the kid, but I've got the job now. Unless you want me to quit, we're doing it my way. I then call, as an extension of 1, I call in Scott Layden and I say, Scott, you know what? You're being paid a lot. That's awesome. You are still part of the organization. I'm sending you to Russia to scout for the winter. And your title is now pencil pusher. That's it. That's it. But you will spend the winter in Siberia and bring back some good basketball players.
Some good basketball players have come from Russia.
Yes,
and Eastern
they have.
Europe. Absolutely.
Exactly
Luka
right.
Doncic.
So you are going to be nowhere near Target Center during the course of the season. And in fact, I want your passport.
Bogdanovic.
I want your passport to be up to date because you are going to be in Siberia for the duration of the winter. It gets cold there. Take a coat. Number 2 on my list, to what both of these guys said, it has to be how to deal with Andrew Wiggins. And I think the reality is, I don't know if Phil is right or not. If he's right, that's ideal. I'm going to assume he's not. I'm going to assume I call everybody else, 29 teams. They're like, are you kidding me? Come on, Rosas. We're not stupid. We're dumb, but we're not stupid. So what I do is I call in my new coach. I call in Andrew and I sit them down and I say, all right, we're going to come to a method of how we're going to do this. And Andrew, you are going to do exactly what we tell you. You are not going to shoot your long 2-pointers and you're not going to shoot from the perimeter. According to our guy, Danny Cunningham, there is an area on the court from basically the baseline where this kid can shoot. We're going to set up, and that's where you're going to shoot from. But you're going to do exactly what we say. And if you don't, you're not going to play. And if Glenn objects, I will say, Glenn, I'm going to quit, or we're going to do things my way. You hired me, so be quiet. Sit down, watch the game, and shut up. Eat some popcorn.
In your sweaters.
Exactly. Number 3 is going to be different from what these guys said. And I hate to say this because it goes against every Zolgadian philosophy, but in the NBA in 2019, I believe it to be true. I sit down with the most important member of this franchise, and it's not Glenn Taylor, and it's not my new coach, and it's not the popcorn guy, and it's not Ethan Casson. It is Cat. I sit Cat down and I say, how do you see this going? I can't promise you that I can do everything you want, but we need to get you to a point where you are the focal point of this franchise, where you are as happy as possible. You are the most important, including me, you are the most important employee here. So, Karl, you tell me what you need, and I will do my best to accomplish that. So that in 3 years you're not saying, "Why am I still here?" So those are my 3 things.
Okay. I kind of like a little bit of everything you guys are going with. I like hiring your own coach and GM, Phil or Rami, and telling Glenn Taylor to stay out of the process because he has a bad track record of all of that. Get Taylor out of this process. I like the fact that, Phil, you brought up bringing KG back to the franchise. I want KG's number in the rafters. It should have been a long time ago. He should definitely be a part owner of this team at some point here. And if you can make that happen, make it happen. But Judd hit on the thing that I was waiting for, getting Cat's ideas on how to make this franchise his own franchise, because Cat's the biggest player on your team. He's the best player on your team, and he is the future, and you don't want him leaving. So, Judd, I did not screw you this time. You've got a point.
Thank you very much. I hope you like my Laden to Siberia point too.
I did.
Okay, good.
That was good.
That was a lot of fun. I like the idea of taking an employee and sending that person to Siberia.